Hey guys, in today's episode, myself and two of my good friends and fellow content creators at Vibe with Ade and at Baby_Howell will be discussing the recent news of EDC Las Vegas being postponed to this October. The three of us are planning to attend the music festival together, so we want to share our honest thoughts and opinions on the announcement and all of the events that have transpired afterwards. We've got a lot to cover, you guys, so let's just get into it. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I'm your host, Emma Capotis. Welcome to the podcast. This is going to be a doozy, all right? I'm just saying that off the bat. This is going to be a doozy. How are we all feeling? Let's check in with ourselves. We've got some big things to talk about today. You guys, I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a little crazy. We've had a week to settle in. We've settled with the EDC news. It's not as shocking as it was when we recorded this episode, which was the day of the EDC announcement. So we've had some time to sit with it. But if any of you are listening right now and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, I highly doubt that. But if you don't, today's episode is going to be all about the recent announcement from EDC Las Vegas. They officially, well, basically the event was going to happen in May, which all of us were like, huh, what? That seems a little reckless. How is that going to happen? But we weren't sure about it, but we were also excited about attending it. And then about 2 weeks later, they pulled the plug and said, just kidding, it's not going to happen. Clark County made some changes about the vaccinations and all that, and basically we're going to have to postpone it to October. So it was a whole big cluster. I know I just threw a lot of things at you, but we are going to break down the news for you today. Like I mentioned, I'm going to have my good friends Vibe with Ade and Bebe Howell on. These are my girls. They are my fellow content creators. They're out there doing their thing, making their content. Ade has a podcast. You guys, they've both been on the podcast, so you've probably seen them before. And they're also my Camp EDC crew. So we are all attending EDC together. So I thought it was very fitting that we had the three of us come on here and just like react to the news in real time. So the day we recorded this, it was literally a couple hours after the EDC announcement. So you're gonna get our candid thoughts and opinions on everything. So before we dive into that, really quickly, I just wanted to announce two things. This is the last call. It's the final week to enroll in my brand new podcasting course, How to Successfully Create and Launch a Podcast from Scratch. You guys, what can I say about podcasting? Creating Rave Culture Cast has genuinely been one of the best things I've ever done. It has brought so much joy. I just stuttered so bad. It has brought so much joy into my life, and it's brought so many blessings that I never even expected. Like the community aspect of Rave Culture Cast has been absolutely incredible. Our Facebook group, our new Discord, meeting you guys in real life, the Zoom chats we've had this past year, like all of that came from a podcast, which is insane. I've had the amazing ability to interview people I never even dreamed of, make all these incredible friends and connections, connect with you, talk about my favorite things. Like podcasting has done all of that for me. And now I wanted to create a course and teach you how to do the exact same thing. So I'm so excited about this program. It's a 6-week program. It's a live group coaching, nice small group. Every Tuesday night. It officially starts May 4th. Every single week is recorded, so if you can't make it live, it's no big deal. You get access to all of the recordings, plus daily support in a group chat with myself and the other members, plus support documents and a Q&A every single week. And I'm literally going to teach you everything you need to know from start to finish so that you can create your podcast and launch it successfully. And it's all going down. So the last day to enroll is this Friday. There will be a link down below in the description box, but hopefully I get to work with some of you guys and help you create your dream podcast. It'll change your life. I can't even get into it. And the second thing I wanted to say is the Plur mini collection. My new merch line is officially out, so if you guys want to pick anything up, there will be a link down below in the show notes. All right, with all that being said, you guys, let's just dive right into it. So please join me in welcoming Vibe with Ade and Bebe Howell to the podcast. All right, you guys, we have two familiar faces back on the podcast, my Camp EDC crew. is in the building because we had to just address everything. And I want to first and foremost say, we found out this information. Ade got it last night because she's in Texas. Right? Yes, Texas.
Yeah.
And
I was still awake for some
Coast.
reason. I should have been asleep, but I wasn't asleep at that time.
And then East Coasters woke up in the morning to the news. And so today we're just going to share our feelings on everything and tell you what we were thinking. Cause obviously we're planning to attend together. So we've been planning for May and stuff like that. But let's go back, I think, and chat about how we felt with the first announcement that was a couple weeks ago when Insomniac said, it's on for May, full steam ahead, book your flights, do your whole thing. Like, how did you guys feel when that was first announced?
Ade, you want to start us off?
I was like, okay, all right, we're going.
Yeah.
I was hoping for October. I've been hoping for October kind of since the beginning because I was just like, I just don't know how it's going to happen in May, but I really wanted to go see how it was going to happen. So I was a little bit surprised that it was moving forward with May. And so I'm happy it's getting moved to October. But at first I was like the initial shock of like, all right, let's start planning. Let's start figuring it out. And we just kind of mobilized.
Yeah, I was surprised, but I wasn't at the same time, just because I knew Insomniac was like so dead set on wanting to be the first one back. But like, yeah, I was definitely a little sussed out. I was like, are we sure? But then I let myself be naive and was like, yay, like EDC, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a clown, but it's okay.
No, not a clown at all. I think the same thing. And I said this today in my YouTube video. I think the people were allowed to get excited because I know a lot of people were like, you're selfish if you're going, you like really coming hard for people who wanted to go in May. And I'm in the same camp here. I think we all wanted it and expected it to be in October, but we were like, okay, we'll go in May. We're vaccinated. Like, we'll see how this happens. And again, I said this before, but it's all like state by state basis. Cause in New Jersey, like a large population are vaccinated already. And especially by the end of May. So coming home and being able to quarantine and knowing that a lot of people who are at risk are already vaccinated, like I just felt comfortable going in May, but we had so many questions, like especially in the campgrounds. Let's use that as an example. I was just like, how is this going to work? Are we going to wear a mask in the pool? Like it just didn't make sense to me. And it was a month out now, like exactly. And we had no answers to anything.
We were completely in the dark. It's so funny. And in our group chat, we would send voice messages almost every day being like, so how are they going to do this? Or like, I may be like, what about the pool parties? Like, what about walking around camp? Like there were so many factors that we just didn't know anything about. And I think, Emma, you said this in your video, like, that's why we were kind of thinking, like, maybe it's not actually happening. Because we were just left in the dark for most of it. Like, there was no details.
Yep.
Yeah. And literally yesterday, I put in our group chat, like, where's the lineup and where's the health plan? Like, it's April 20th. Like, where is it? And so I guess we have that answer now.
Yeah.
But because I realized it'd been like, 2 weeks since they made the May announcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't really heard anything. So I was like, where is all this information? We need to get going.
I thought it was all going to come before the ticket rollover deadline. And then it just didn't. So I was like, okay. And I was so sad in the post that the Squall made saying that the lineup was supposed to drop today at like 12 p.m. Pacific. I was like, can we still have it though?
Yeah, right.
Back to the drawing board.
And, like, fix it all over again. I just can't. It's a mess, but yeah, we were so close.
We were really close. Yeah, I know to know that was going to come today. But I think that's like moving into the announcement, that just shows how fast of a decision this was. We were just talking about it. Like some of the artists didn't know, the staff just was informed last night, or like contractors and things like that. So we'll talk about it. So obviously officially it's been moved to October 22nd to the 24th. It's moving forward with those dates right now, which is crazy. This is deja vu because this all happened last year. I'm in the camp of, I'm just happy it's happening this year rather than it being moved to 2022.
Yeah.
But no, it's just crazy. It was a sudden decision. And I think, we all obviously love Insomniac. We love Pasquale. We might not agree with some of the decisions that were made here, but I still support the company. And I think, they genuinely thought they could pull it off in May. I know a lot of people think they knew this was going to happen and they went forward with it anyway. I don't personally believe that. I don't think they would have put their whole reputation out on the line. I think the county changed their mind yesterday and implemented these new changes, and that forced Insomniac to be like, well, shit, got to pull the plug here. So I do not think that they thought that was going to happen, obviously.
No, I don't think so either. And that was the first, I'm sure they're just as frustrated as we are, because the protocol that shut it down was the one that was like, okay, 60% of Vegas or Nevada residents, I forget which it was, have to be vaccinated. And I feel like that protocol and like the reopening plan should have been known a little bit sooner. I know it's COVID and things change really fast, but like if they had known that 2 weeks ago, they would have never said that EDC would be in May. Like they would have just said, like, scratch this, like, let's move it to October. But because like with COVID, everything changes so fast from literally day to day. It's like they don't have a choice but to just kind of go with the flow and see what they can do as time goes on. And then obviously like Nevada it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. So crappy.
Crappy. And the fact that they're opening 100% on June 1st, which is like 10 days after when EDC would have happened. That's, I think, the most upsetting part for me, because it's like a week after we would have been there. It's going to be like completely open, no distancing, nothing.
Could you imagine if he would have suggested a June EDC?
Oh, geez.
I'm surprised
I've done a couple June EDCs. It's
going back to that.
Can you imagine? They just revert back to the June EDC.
I'd
no
be like,
way in hell with masks on top of that.
No. Oh my God.
Okay, never mind. No. October, I'm good with October.
I'd be like, I'm good. I'm transferring to 2022. If it's in May, 100%. No way I'm going back to a June EDC.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the pros to October in a second, but oh God, things keep going out of my head. I have ADD brain today. It's crazy. But,
oh my God, same.
Fuck. What was it? Oh, about the county. I feel like it was just such a roller coaster of emotions, obviously, because then Nevada, like the officials came out and made that statement like, oh, social distancing guidelines are lifted as of May 1st, but we didn't know about the 100% capacity in June just yet. So it's just a lot of, I think this is where I hear people's frustration of it was risky this whole time. You knew it was risky. So why didn't you just from the get-go take the safer route or safer bet? And just put it in October. So like, I kind of feel that way, but there was a part of me, like we're all music festival fans here, right? At the end of the day, like I'm not in the angry camp. I'm in the sad camp because I just want music festivals to fucking come back and safely. And we all just want to do the same thing. And so to have your hopes up even just a little bit and for this to happen, it's like, all right, we'll wait a couple more months, but I was getting excited. We ordered our outfits and everything.
We had finalized like almost everything and started making all the actual plans to the point where it did feel so real. And then it just had to be like, nope, just kidding. Like cancel everything. Yeah. I was so sad canceling my flight today. I was like, I'll get them next time.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a little more like, just go. Like, all right, it's not happening. On to the next.
Yeah.
I don't think I've let it kind of sit in. It might sink in when like the actual date comes of being like, oh, like we would have been going to like on vacation and stuff like that. I'm more in like the I'm just vibing camp right now, which is like my brand.
Yeah. She's simply vibing.
It'll be good in October though. I think like, I mean, we can chat about a couple things. I know we all have crazy plans in the fall and everyone's like, holy shit, there's just going to be so many events. Like we chatted, I have my bachelorette in the beginning of October and now EDC is going to happen. My brother and sister-in-law are having a baby and at the same time. And then EDC Orlando is booked and ready to go. So it's just going to be absolutely insane. But I think, the weather will still be really nice. Usually pool season in Vegas goes to the first or second weekend in October, I'm pretty sure. So I would just think they'll extend it obviously through EDC. But that was the other thing I forgot to touch on. Like one of my questions too was EDC week. That's such a huge part of it. And like just Vegas and the strip and nightclubs and cabanas, like all that stuff or in pool parties aren't even open. You really have to get like a cabana and it's all socially distanced. So I was just like, I don't understand how any of this is going to fucking work in May.
Yeah. So. No, I think it'll work out because especially my boyfriend Chase hasn't been to Vegas. And so hopefully things will be a lot more open. That way he can get like the full Vegas experience. Cause that's what I was wondering too. Like we were wanting to go Tuesday to Tuesday. So like, would we have to be kind of worried about where we could go and like being able to go to certain places? So hopefully it'll be a little bit better now that it's going to be in October.
Yeah, I have no expectations. It's my first EDC. So when she happens, I'll be there. I've waited enough years to go. I'll wait another however many months it is. Shit happens.
I feel like for anybody too, I mean, hopefully like international regulations are different too. Cause like I felt bad for anybody that was going to be traveling in and couldn't. So, I mean, it's difficult. I could see both sides of it. There are people who were excited for May and can't go in October. So now they're like, fuck, and they're all upset. And then there were people who can make October who might be pushing their tickets from 2022 to October because they can do it. So it's like people are going to be unhappy literally no matter what happens in the situation is what's the problem.
Yeah.
Everyone's really losing.
Yeah, literally. The poor company is dealing with today, I don't even want to know. Like all the people who work customer support. Woof! I'll pray for you.
There and at Frontgate tickets probably too. Yes, because Frontgate is the one that manages that.
Yeah.
Expedia was running pretty slow today. I called Expedia 3 times to switch my flights and finally got through at the end there. And this morning, because I called earlier the first time and the guy was like, oh, okay, like, why are you canceling? I was like, oh, I was going for a major music festival and it got canceled. He's like, oh, okay. I was like, you're going to get a lot of calls today, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's crazy. But the flip side, because I know obviously everybody's coming from the fan perspective that's, justifiably upset. But the flip side, which we were just saying, like a lot of people who work in the industry or know people who work in the industry, like there's so many other people affected by this, like people whose jobs just came back. They had vendors already hired, all of the hotels who finally got bookings for May that just got all those pulled out. And like, yes, they'll have them in October, but it affects so many more people and people's jobs depend on this as well. So it's like, I know like some people are going to eat the money and it friggin' sucks. It's not fun for anybody involved, but I also feel really hard for all these festival organizers and people whose jobs now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of people who are going, I mean, I know Emma, you had issues with getting the money back on the flight, but like most, like Pasquale said in the first announcement saying it was in May, most things you can get your money back on, like with the way the world is nowadays, like you can get a flight refunded, you can get a hotel refunded. All the ones in Vegas were doing refunds. So like at the end of the day, most of us can walk away with all of our money still, whereas all these people who were working the event now have to walk away not knowing if they're going to get paid, and they're going to be out of a job again. So that's what I remind myself. Like, was it annoying to cancel my flight and change all my plans? Absolutely. But I'm not losing a job over this right now. I'm not losing income over this right now. So I can't really imagine how that feels. So I try not to be. I was obviously really sad that it was canceled. I really, really wanted to go, but this is life right now and this is the way things go. And I'm never going to be like too hurt by it. It's just life goes on. Events will come back. EDC will come back. It's not like we're never going to have it ever again. Like you just kind of have to ride the wave.
Definitely. And I was also thinking about some of the small rave businesses, like clothing wise, like a lot of them just got their spark back and they were trying to make deadlines so that they could like get outfits and get stuff out for EDC. And so hopefully people can have a little compassion for them too, especially if you're going to request like canceling an outfit just because you won't have it for EDC. Like that could be a potential bill for them to pay. So that's some other dynamic to it. Cause I know like Relita Couture, like she was going to do a whole pop-up shop and now she's going to cancel that. And she had a bunch of orders and stuff like that. So there's a lot more to this than just like us not being able to go, so just have some compassion for some of the other people in the community that are affected just by this not happening.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. And it affects like every organizer here. Like nobody wants to see this happen to an event. Like it's not good for the community in general or anybody involved. So like, it just sucks. Again, just as fans, like we want local shows to come back too. We don't have any information on that, especially in New York. Like we're waiting to figure out what's going to happen. Like we all just want the same thing. We just want events to come back. I mean, comparing to where we were a year ago, like obviously silver lining, it's amazing to see how quickly the vaccinations are happening in the United States. Cause I know we've heard from people internationally and like, they don't have their shit together in a lot of places. And some of them are like still, I was just talking to a girl in Ireland, I'm pretty sure. And she was like,
we're still on lockdown.
We're like on full blown lockdown.
The UK is still fully on lockdown. So that's why a lot of times I also have to like see the silver lining and thank my lucky stars, because I'm not stuck in my house all day anymore. Like living in New York or like the tri-state, the fact that we're able to like go outside and do things. Whereas a year ago, this time we were the epicenter of the entire global pandemic. Like, I'm not going to be upset. Like, we're making progress. That's all that matters at this point.
Yep. And I mean, like Ade Bebe is literally happening this weekend. Like it really is crazy how state to state it's different. Sunset Music Festival and Forbidden Kingdom are happening in Florida.
It just laughs.
Crazy. It's freaking nuts. It's just.
She's like, oh yeah, that.
I keep on forgetting I'm going.
I mean, again, I don't care like how people feel about it. I'm coming from a place like I want all of these people to see success. I want people to be healthy. I want it to go well for everybody involved. Like, of course, again, people who are wishing ill will on the organizers or the people attending, I will never understand. Yeah.
And it also, I've noticed so many people throughout this whole time who are like weirdly hungry to watch event companies fail and promoters fail. And I just don't understand, like, especially in this community where we're built on peace, love, unity, respect, like, how can you sit back and like be happy when these things fail? And because that just means that you're not going to get to go back to these events as soon. Like, I don't know. It's just, I saw a lot of people who like when Abduction got shut down, which was literally because of the weather, but these people are saying like, oh, thank God, like, screw you if you went to this, like all this stuff. And, you know, I get the safety thing and that's super, super valid, but people who are now at the point where they literally just want to watch these people fail, that doesn't sit right with me.
It's because it's easier to be negative than to kind of rise above it and ignore it. So that's just me.
Totally. Ade, I loved your episode 2 with Frisky Hug that you had with him, because he was at Abduction and like it was interesting to hear his perspective. And I didn't realize he said like stuff was falling down and hitting people, right? Because of the wind, which is crazy. And I think again, like just watching on Twitter and seeing videos and like obviously being upset that people chose not to wear masks, which was a choice. But there's just so much going on, and people don't realize like all of the things happening behind the scenes with organizers and how like they're heavily working with 4 months, the government, the police, the fire, medical staff. Like there's so many pieces involved. They have risk assessment. They work with meteorologists who will tell them this storm is coming in this fast. You need to evacuate at this wind level. Like the equipment can only handle so much. And that's why EDC in 2019 stages were shut down because they have a wind threshold and it shuts the stage down at a certain point. So it's just like, there's not trying to ruin your time.
There's so much that goes into it. And like kind of going off of that with COVID as well. I don't think people realize that. And all these contracts that promoters are creating with like the state governments to allow these events to happen. Promoters, if they don't follow COVID protocol, they can get arrested, get fined, go to prison. Like these promoters would not be putting on these events if they didn't truly believe that they could pull it off safely. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And they think that they're just doing it for a cash grab or just to make money. But I promise you, they're not making money right now. There's no budget for these festivals anymore. There is zero budget because of all the money they've lost over the past year. But I think people just don't realize that. And from an outside perspective and not knowing a lot about the industry, it does look like they're just trying to get a quick cash grab and like make up for lost money. But the matter of fact is that they don't have money. There's really no budget for a lot of these festivals. Maybe not all. Insomniac has a lot of money. I'm sure they have run out of a fair amount of it, especially when it comes to EDC. But for most of these people, like they're not operating on money to put these on. They're putting them on because they love music and putting shows on and like bringing them to everyone in the community. So.
Yeah, I think Disco Donnie tweeted that because someone was like, oh, you're really out here just trying to get people's money. And Disco Donnie, if you guys don't follow his Twitter, he will go in on you because he does not care. Like he's been doing this for so long. And I've mentioned this before, like people were having Pasquale kind of to a higher level than Disco Donnie and weren't holding them to the same level, which I thought was interesting when it came to Ade Bebe. Obviously now that might've changed because of what's happened with EDC. But with Disco Donnie, he's like, I'm not making any money on Ade Bebe. Like I'm already like millions over budget, he said.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just because he wants to put the event on and wants it to happen for people and make it happen for people because we've been in this situation. And so I think when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, yeah, they're not really making any money because they also have to pay back a lot of stuff from like not having events for so long. So a lot of that money is going to go elsewhere too. It's not really even going to go to him or anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's crazy. It's just like the amount of coordination that happens. And like, not only that, but again, like I felt rushed. I think we all felt rushed. This was probably the most unprepared I was ever going to feel for an EDC, but think about everything that like got kicked into gear when they said it was in May and they pulled that trigger again, hoping for the best, like everything, even the ride shares, the hotels, the government, the speedway, the vendors. They said they had 40 trucks come in with all the staging equipment. Like imagine the logistical nightmare that this is. And I'm sure there are probably people listening right now like, well, then they should have just had it in October. Fair enough. But again, I think they just really, to his point, you have no idea the communication they're getting on their end and the amount of comments they're getting saying, we want it in May. We want events to come back. Like they really are getting it. And again, you can't make everybody happy, but there just is so many things going in. And I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It's crazy. And even this morning too, we were chatting because like, obviously we're content creators. So we're coming from that perspective. It was so nice to have like a content calendar built out again, you guys, because that shit was wiped clean.
Yeah.
COVID happened. And this morning I was like, okay, I'm just going to take these video ideas I had and throw them away.
It's like that crying TikTok of that girl crying, like the sniffling sound, like that little sound.
Someone make that TikTok today.
In the scheme of things, this is non-fucking issue. We'll be fine. But it just was like this morning, it was like, mother F.
I didn't even think about it until you said
a bright
it.
Side to it. A bright side to that though is that I was like, I filmed a over 20 minute how to prepare for EDC 2021 video. And I'm like, okay, well now I can like take that and like cut it into bite-sized pieces because who's going to sit and watch a 20-minute video? And same thing with like, I had literally yesterday, I filmed a 20-minute outfits video, which I'm upset about, but it's okay. Like, I think I'm just going to redo an intro and be like, you guys, this was for May, but like the info still applies. But that way I get to like cut it up and make it bite-sized info for people. Cause like, again, who's going to sit through a 20-minute video?
Yeah.
And like I hope like guys, we're laughing because we're crying on the inside. Like you just have to make because it's just
you have to make light of it.
The worst thing, and I know that he had to put out the announcement as soon as possible, but us East Coasters, like I go to bed early. Okay, so this came out at 11:30. So I woke up and I looked at my phone. I had like 520 text messages, and I was like. I was like, huh? And the first thing I open is our group chat, and it's Ade being like, "Oh fuck, you guys are asleep." Like, fuck. You're like, guys, EDC's canceled, and then you just see Emma respond at like 6:30 in the morning, being just period.
Yeah. And then I text back, finally, you're awake.
Yeah. And then I was
up at the crack of dawn.
Show. I know. I was like, what the hell? I was like, no. I thought I was dreaming. I was like, what do you mean it's canceled? It's not canceled. Like, he just said it was in May. Like, come on.
I couldn't believe my eyes because it was so late and it was also 4:20. Yeah. And I was just like, wait, am I reading this right? And like my friend Ryan was with me and she was in the other room and she was like, oh my gosh, because she had a ticket too. Chase, my boyfriend, was asleep. So I had this information myself and I was just like, Emma and Bebe aren't awake. And I was like, should I call them?
Insane.
Like, no, they're asleep. I'm going to let them sleep.
I'm glad that I had to deal with it in the morning. Cause if I got hit with that, it was like when he said it was in May, it hit it to us at like, it wasn't that late, but it was like 9 p.m. And we wanted to start booking shit right away cause it was going to get expensive.
Yeah.
So then I ended up being up so late that night. So if I was up for this, I wouldn't be able to go to sleep.
I didn't really sleep, to be honest, because I was just thinking about like, okay, here's all the things that I need to do to like unplan everything. So I didn't really sleep well last night, but it's okay.
Yeah. That late at night was like a little sus to me, but I mean, it's like whatever. He posted it when he did. I mean, positive again, pros in these situations. Like although Expedia was a nightmare and there was some like back and forth because it was in October, like the choices for flights booking in May were terrible times and it was really expensive. And like, obviously that was like not fun for anybody, but because they moved it to October, it ended up being less money. So I got like I think I got like $70 credited. So that was nice. So like there definitely are some pros, and, you know, we were saying like it was going to be a lot of money this next month and just rushed and all of those things. So we have more time to like actually prepare now.
But
yeah.
Start preparing your EDC bods now.
Yeah, and I was rushing. Not ready for that.
Get around to your cardio, people. Start doing it now. You have more time.
It's so funny because in October I was like, oh, it's in May. Like, okay, I'll be snatched by then. And now it's like May. I'm like, I'll get them in October and see.
Yeah, literally. But I do hope that I hope we just have a more, I don't know, obviously too, like way more people will be vaccinated. I hope and pray that the United States is in a much better position by then. Like last summer even felt like kind of open. So I think this summer things will just feel much, much better. And I think we all would have felt more comfortable in October anyway. So like, I'm still very curious to see what the health and safety plan is going to be then. Like I would assume masks are still going to be a complete standard, but it will just be interesting to see if it feels a little bit better than it would have felt in May. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the health and safety regulations of any festival in the fall are actually going to look like. I feel like the only one I know about really is like North Coast, right? Yeah. North Coast was like the only one that had extensive and like elements maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like those are the only two that have really like released their health and safety plan, but I'd be interested to see like when we get to that point, like are masks going to be required still, or like what's vaccines going to look like, or like COVID negative tests. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it really just depends on the state, because I don't see Texas or Florida ever requiring a negative test to get into anything, unless it's like something as big as Ultra, which God knows where she is anymore. Where'd she go?
I was thinking that before. I was like, do you think Ultra's over in the corner just like hiding behind the bushes?
Yeah,
right.
They're like, okay, what's poppin'? They're like, here. But I don't really see Florida like unless it was like EDC Orlando and Insomniac, because they're such a fucking major company, they would require it. But like it really, as Emma said, it's really on a state by state basis. That's the thing with our country, is that we're literally just like 50 little countries. You can kind of do whatever you want. You don't have to follow some like big overarching like protocol.
Yeah. It also depends on the promoter too, because I know for Seismic Dance Event, they are requiring a negative test.
Oh, they are.
But you have to pay $25 for the negative test. So some people were like, oh, I have to pay for it. And it's like, come on.
Oh like, God. Like,
they're like, you can't require this, but it's like, no, they're a business. They're allowed to they can require that. So it's either you can like, and then someone else commented like, oh, but a vaccine's free. Yeah, you can just go get a vaccine, you know?
What a concept. And now we're at the point where anyone in any of the 50 states, if you are over 16, you can get a vaccine for free. So why not just go?
Yeah. And the testing costs a lot of money, because I know we've spoken about that, and the organizers are like, to even offer that is, again, like talk about greedy and making money. That's not a thing right now in this world, in this situation, maybe in the future when things are like booming and back to like what they were. But I just couldn't, I mean, like coming up to the end here, guys, like I couldn't imagine Vegas, just what it is. Like I look back at my time hop to like the bachelorette party. I was in Vegas in that fucking pool party. If you're concerned about getting a vaccine and you've been in a Vegas pool, you're going to be just fine. But like just the amount of people and how close you are, it's just, again, if you're listening and you live in Florida or Texas or something like that, and you've been going out to bars or it's been normal for you for a few months, like a lot of other people haven't. So for me, just to picture like a Vegas nightclub, full capacity, no mask is just crazy to me right now. But I hope by October, that's what it is. Cause I don't know if I want to be in a nightclub just seated at a table doing nothing. Like I'd rather wait to go there until it's fully open and safe. So.
That's true.
Yeah, totally.
Like things will be better by October, and then we can have more of like a real EDC experience. But I'm not going to be picky, because like I said, it's my first one. I'll take whatever I can get, but it would be nice to have like a little more sense of normalcy, especially in the rave community where it's so much like meeting other people and like human contact. It's going to feel weird if we can't really have it to its fullest potential.
Yeah.
I agree. We talked about meetups too, because I know that's a huge thing in the community. And we were getting a lot of questions like, are you going to host a meetup, or like, are people going to meet you anywhere? Like, are you going to certain sets? And I think that was something too, that was just a little nerve wracking, because it's like, yes, we're at this huge event, but is it smart to plan things like that? Like, what are people's comfort level like? So I also hope in October it will be totally fine by then, just to do that, because there's so many people we want to meet.
Yeah. For sure.
So many friends we've made online. It's like crazy that we haven't met yet in person. It's so weird.
I know.
Me and Bebe haven't met.
Guys, literally me and Ade have not met in person. I was thinking about that the other week. I was like, wait, because we communicate so frequently.
Yeah.
Like I cannot believe we have not met in person. Like, that's crazy.
No, because we've been connected this whole year. I know. I see photos of her and I'm like, oh my God, she's going to be like way taller than me. A lot of people don't realize how I'm not that short, but some people are like surprised by my height for some reason. Like, they think I'm a lot taller.
People are always surprised by my height. That's like,
there's just no sense of it though. Like across the computer, there's no sense of height.
Yeah,
so weird.
No sense of it. People are always very surprised. They're like, whoa. Like,
oh my God. Well, we're hopeful, and we're going in October. We're camping, and we hope to see some of you guys there. And again, like, I think EDM Maniac they did a really, really good post about this. They were like, you can be upset and you can be angry, but like, be kind, period. The comments on Pasquale's post literally made me sick to my stomach. Like, I could never imagine telling someone to go fuck themselves or whatever else, excuse me for the strong F word there. But I couldn't, there are things like, again, whether you agree or not with their decision making, like what happened with the county was completely unexpected. So just think about it. Yeah. Think about what you're writing to people. There's a human being on the other side of the phone.
Everyone's a human being. Please treat them like one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Be kind to each other in the comments, and we will be raving together again, hopefully very soon and safely and things like that. But any other final thoughts, you guys? Are y'all good?
Rest in peace, EDC.
Bebe will be raging on her first EDC in October. We're so excited.
Yeah. Just the countdown is on.
The new countdown is on.
The new countdown is on.
Oh, I have to delete my Instagram countdown.
Oh, go change your flights, look into refunds, do all that stuff today. Again, like, some of it might be much easier than you think. And if you guys do consider booking new stuff, like we booked the one night, I usually always book through booking.com because it's usually like free cancellation up until a week before. So try to go with something like that rather than a non-refundable option that you're gonna have to argue over.
And if you're feeling sad about not having plans for that weekend, like a vacation or something that you were really looking forward to, just plan for something else. Like, do a little staycation, maybe host your own EDC at home. I did my own electric forest at home. So just find other ways to kind of keep yourself busy that weekend if it kind of feels sad that you're not going. So just do what you can and take care of yourself.
Totally. Maybe they'll do another virtual EDC. Somebody asked me that. They were like, do you think they'll do one? I was like, I don't think they've thought about that yet.
I don't think we're there yet.
No, it's like not the top of the mind. Thank you guys for coming on again. Plug where everybody can find you.
Ade, go first.
Oh, okay. You can find me at Vibe with Ade on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And then on YouTube, Vibe with Ade.
I am on YouTube as Bebe Howell, on Instagram, Bebe_Howell, and on Twitter, Bebe Howell_.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Everybody else, I will be back in just a minute with dance music news. Alrighty, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that episode. It's so nice to just be like comfortable and be with my girls and just chat and be honest. And yeah, it was good having a laugh with them and just getting through this together and like working through all of the emotions and feelings that we're all feeling. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and you heard us out and everything. Please leave me your comments. I want to hear your feedback. We have the episodes up on YouTube if you want to drop some comments there. Okay, I'm going to get into some industry news really quickly and then we'll wrap this whole thing up. Okay, so we have a couple different announcements here. Let me pull things up here. First and foremost, it's not new news, but the Forbidden Kingdom lineup is out, so all my bass heads who are super excited about that event. Forbidden Kingdom is a bass music festival that takes place in Florida. I mentioned, I think, maybe in last week's episode that the location of the event changed. But now we have a lineup, so it's really, really stacked, so you guys can check that out. It's not loading for me for some reason. Moving on to the next thing. Millennials. You probably already know this because it's already sold out. By the time I even tell you about it, it's sold out. But basically, Millennium announced that he was going to be doing his own destination festival, which is so cool. An all-inclusive event like we've been seeing throughout this past year in Cancun, December 3rd to the 5th. It's 3 days, 3 unique sets from Millennium, multiple stages, new adventures every day. It's sold out already, so sorry if you guys missed your chance, but I did want to talk about that because I think it's very, very interesting, and I think we're going to see a lot more of these types of things happening. So that's really cool. If I love Millennium, but there's no time or budget for that this year, so I will not be attending. For some of you who are familiar with Boomtown Fair, it is a massive music festival that usually takes place in August. They unfortunately just announced that they have to postpone it again for the 2nd year in a row. So that will be taking place in 2022, and shit, I'm sorry, I don't know where Boomtown Fair is. I should probably know this. Yes, it's in the UK. Okay. Gosh darn it. Yeah, UK is not in a good place right now with COVID and things like that, so that's not surprising at all, but never fun to hear any postponements. Okay, while I'm on that, I might as well just say Electric Forest also today, the day I'm recording this, just announced that they are officially postponing the festival. Does anybody have deja vu at this point? So they originally came out on April 2nd saying that Forest, if it was to happen this year, it would happen in August. Today they came out and said, despite our best efforts, it's going to be pushed to 2022. I am doing a video on my YouTube channel. I think it's already up at this point. I'm a little bit relieved. It would have been my first Forest in 2020. Obviously it hasn't happened yet. I really want the full-blown Forest experience, so I'm relieved that they're pushing it to 2022, and I will just wait a whole another year and it will fly by, you guys. It will be here eventually. Okay, in other news, Charlotte DeWitt fans, she has a new EP coming at the end of April, and she's going to be doing a live stream event to celebrate the EP drop, so that's really exciting. Another event that's sold out by the time I wanted to mention it, Grizz posted this insane lineup. He's doing this event called Space Camp. It's sold out, guys, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's in December, the 17th and 18th. They had Closey, Ellis Dream, Chi, Liquid Stranger, Lucy, More Kismet was on here. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't read these logos. Common Creation and Kumarian. It's really hard to read those fonts. So yeah, so that's a really cool festival. We love Grizz. Okay, and we also, 2 last announcements. Above and Beyond today just posted that they're going to do a Red Rock show, which this is so bittersweet. I can't even talk to you about it. I've always wanted to do Red Rocks, and I said I would only really travel there for a couple artists, like Seven Lions being one of them, Griffin probably one, Millennium, and Above and Beyond. Like, I would die to see an Anjuna show there, and they just announced they're gonna have a Red Rock show on Friday, October 22nd, which, if anybody knows, that is the Friday of EDC Las Vegas now, since they postponed. So I won't be able to go to the Red Rock show, but more details to come on that. And then lastly, Gorgon City announced that they have a full album, Olympia, dropping on June 25th, which is really exciting. This is their 3rd studio album. They said, we've been working on this for a while now, and for us, it's our best body of work to date. You can check out Tell Me It's True Now, which just came out this past Friday. It is fire. We love Gorgon City, so excited for that. I can't get enough of them and their music, so hella pumped. All right, you guys, and that is everything. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the episode. These are all the places you can connect with Rave Culture Cast. Twitter and Instagram at raveculturecast. If you guys love the episodes, you can show your support by tweeting at us, making this your Instagram stories, tagging us, rating and reviewing on iTunes. All of those things help tremendously. And if you want to be a part of the community, even more so, come join us on Facebook or on Discord. There's so many conversations happening there. I created a channel to find a rave fam, so if you're going to be traveling for music festivals and you don't have anyone to go with, check out our Discord group or our Facebook group. Links will be down below in the show notes. And I think that's pretty much everything. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Again, enrollment for my podcasting course ends this Friday. Payment plans are available to make it easier for you guys, but I cannot wait to watch you guys progress every week and finally launch your podcasts, prioritize yourself, invest in yourself, doing coaching and courses seriously pays off so much. So I hope you guys invest in yourself in some way, whether my course or other further education. I think it's so important. So yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys. Hang in there, be kind to each other online, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Bye guys.